What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, giving you guys a quick market watch, letting you guys know what the heck is going on in the secondary market, seeing if we can save you guys a couple of bucks, or of course, even better, make you guys a couple of bucks. And we have to start with Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. The ascendance of this card is just crazy, and yeah, basically on TCG Player, it has hit $75. This is just insane because I believe that Jonathan Moore talked about this and a market watch last week, and it was like $66. So I mean, for the card to just constantly go up and up and up, I wonder if it even could possibly hit $80. I mean, if you guys are wondering why the card has gone up $9, Jeff Jones won ARG Hartford over the weekend, and he played DDDs. Everybody knows that different dimension demons have to be able to go into Crystal Wing. It's one of the best plays to go alongside of like the Siegfried and the Titanic Galaxy. Just makes an incredible turn one field. If you can back that with a dimensional barrier, or with a contract of the witch, or maybe even with a Vanity's Emptiness, I mean, a lot of decks will pretty much just fold at that point. And another deck in the future, Wind Witch Idolin Artifact, since Wind Witches have the one card Crystal Wing, like there's a lot of good decks that need Crystal Wing. And since Shining Victories is obviously out of print and it's a secret rare, it's a card that just it's one of the best synchros in the game. Like, I think that pretty much the argument is either like Crystal Wing's the best synchro in the game, or Trishula is the best synchro in the game. One of those. I would probably lean more towards Crystal Wing. I think that it's just an amazing card. It just does so much damage too. You can attack and the big monsters just run them over. X-Saber Invoker, this guy hitting $70. This one really doesn't come that much of a shock. It's not that much of a shock to me. In fact, I hate to say this, but I could actually see this card going up, and it's simply because Crystal Wing is a card that, you know, like it just recently came out last year, and it's being played in a lot of meta decks. We all know that X-Saber Invoker will be definitely one of the most important cards of the upcoming format. Obviously, Zodiac Beast run this card as a staple, and just so many loops and combos run this to get the moment right, and this card is just going to be such a big deal. But the real reason that it just holds its value and it's just been going up and up and up, you see that its normal median price was basically $52, and yeah, it's a lot higher than that, is because it's coming out of Order of Chaos, guys. That was like, I want to say Generation Force, Order of Chaos, Photon Shot. I think that's the third set from Zexal, if I'm not mistaken. Order of Chaos. Like, this set is super old. I mean, off the top of my head, we must be talking 2011, 2012-ish. Like, it's been a long ass time, and X-Saber Invoker never got reprinted, and it's only a secret rare. So when you get these secret rares from like super old sets, and they're such a big part of the meta, like, it's easy for these cards to hit $75. And yeah, Konami has got to get this card on their radar, guys. I don't know if we're gonna get a gold series this year, 2017, but they got to figure out some way to get this card fucking reprinted, because that set would just kind of print money for them, because everybody who plays Zodiac Beast is going to need a copy of Invoker. Spiral Super Agent, I feel like this card's basically a roller coaster at this point. Like, spirals go, the price of Super Agent goes up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up and down, and right now it's up. The normal price was $5.45 on TCG Player. It's currently $8. I think that it's because people are feeling pretty good about the new Spiral support. I think Tough is good. I think Misty obviously is a good card, but you know, she's not a Spiral, she's a Spy Gal, so whatever. So I mean, I think people are excited, and they're looking optimistically at the future of Spiral. So I think that Super Agent has always been a card that can potentially be splashable, but I think that this is coming from people who actually want to play Spirals, and they're like, well, we can get down with this. We can at least look positively on this. The Winged Dragon of Ra. So this card was just ridiculous. I mean, obviously it's up from its normal price, currently sitting at about $38, but this fucking card was like $45 last week. I thought that was just the biggest pile of baloney ever. Don't get me wrong. I've been talking about the Winged Dragon of Ra Spirit Mode for a long time. Remember my Dark Magician deck where I ran it in the side deck? People told me I was stupid. Like, why are you running that card, Cap? And I'm like, yo, this like low key, it's a board breaker. it breaks really big boards. Like, you don't know about the Winged Dragon of Ra. It's a good card, and I think a lot of people are looking at it for DDDs, but it shouldn't be $40. Like, you still have to understand it's a card that you need in the first couple of turns, and it just does not warrant this price. There have not been that many sightings in like people's side decks of even running this card. I mean, granted, maybe if like in the top 8 of YCS Seattle, if you see like 4 people running it, then maybe something like that, then you can kind of condone the price. But you know, if you're not playing against DDD, if you're playing against a deck like Zodiacs, maybe things like Dark Hole are just better. I mean, obviously this does, it kind of counters like the totally hero deck where, you know, they can obviously negate things like Dark Hole and Regeki, and they can't really negate the Wing Dragon or Raw Spear mode. But this is a card I honestly would stay away from, because I think that if it doesn't see a lot of play at Seattle, I just think it's going to drop to like 30 bucks, and you would have basically lost $8 immediately. Like, unless you're going to that event, just hold off. This card cannot stay at this price of almost $40. Sharon OE Solitaire. Okay, so this is a weird card to me, because much like Spiral Super Agent, this card has a tendency to go down and up. I believe when Dark Illusion came out, it was as high as $12 and then as low as under $4. Right now, it's almost at $6, and I've never quite understood why it ever went down. Like, this is a card that, in my opinion, like, the value of what Solitaire gives you is like, it's like a $10 card in my opinion. The fact that it is a 1 card, you know, what's it called, level 8 synchro, which a lot of times is Omega, because you can put the Mizuki back into your graveyard. Like, just being a 1 card level 8 synchro is just so good. I mean, yeah, it takes up your normal summon, but I've never quite understood why the price of this card ever goes down. Like, this is actually, if you have any interest in playing synchro decks or zombie decks, like, I think they're just going to get better and better. And who knows, maybe in Code of the Duelist, Konami releases a couple of new amazing synchros. I mean, who really saw last year, guys, us getting just ridiculously good synchros like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and things like Omega within the last couple of years? So I don't know. I see this card as a 1 card level 8, and I mean, that's good enough to run in my opinion. I think that $6 is kind of like a value. Now, for a couple of cards like that I could actually see going up in price, for starters, Sage of Blue, it's up a little bit. It's not up that much. It's currently about $24 on TCG Player. It's up just maybe even less than $2. But the thing is, Blue Eyes, for some weird reason, is just doing really well as of lately. I've heard that the DDD matchup is about 50-50, and Blue Eyes actually got 2nd place at the ARG Hartford. So it seems like Blue Eyes is just, people thought that the deck was kind of going to die out, but I think that it has absolutely 0 chances of getting hit by the ban list. I think it's a super safe pick if you're looking for a deck, and considering so much of the deck has been reprinted, I actually think that this card could go up in price. Like, I think we could maybe see this card, well, I don't want to say $30, but maybe at like a $27 point, because when you really look at Blue Eyes, well, not counting like Desires and stuff like that, or, you know, maybe if you're running D Barriers, this is pretty much like the only real expensive card in the deck. Like, everything, like the Spirit Dragon, the White Stone of Antiquity, like all those cards have pretty much been reprinted, even alternative dragons. So I mean, I do look at Sage of Eyes with Blue, and I do think its price could go up a little bit. So this is just a card to keep your eye on, and maybe if you have these, just hold on for them for a couple of weeks and try and maybe flip them right before Raging Tempest is legal. Last card is Dimensional Barrier. So I've been talking about this card, I feel like, for a couple of, well, not a couple of weeks, probably a little longer than that, maybe like 3 weeks, and I'm just waiting for the spike to happen, guys. I'm not gonna be a douche and be like, I told you so, but I definitely am waiting for the spike to happen. I could totally be wrong about this. I've made predictions and been wrong in the past, but I honestly think that this card is going to eventually hit $10. You're already seeing a lot more people take Solemn Strike out of their deck and implement Dimensional Barriers, simply because it is a chainable card. And I really think when you won't be able to find any more packs of Invasion Vengeance, and Zodiacs have implemented themselves into the format, and then when Fusion of Forces comes out, I think D-Barrier is just going to be such a great and amazing card when your opponent activates like Polymerization or, you know, Instant Fusion or Fusion Substitute, and you're playing Fluffles, and you flip this over and their turn basically just ends. Or if you're playing Zodiacs and they go, you know, Taketenberg, or excuse me, Teratot Taketenberg, you flip this over and they're not able to bring out the Invoker, they normal summon Molmarat, or they bring it out with Barrage, and you flip this over and they're just done for the turn. Like, I think this card is just becoming too important. I think that it's about the second, or I think it's the third most played card, excuse me, fourth most played card after Molmarat, Triangle, and Maxi in the OCG. So D-Barrier is $70. I know that that sounds like a ridiculously high price, but you guys have to understand that Pot of Desires was basically like $95, $100. Like, this might be kind of out there, but if I had Desires, I would trade them straight up for D-Barriers, just because I think that D-Barrier is more of a card for the future, and Pot of Desires is more of a card for like the right now to the past. So, but that's just my opinion. If I missed out on any cards, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I'm not sure when I'll do my next market watch. I know obviously we have the sneak peek coming up, and you know, market prices tend to be a little high after sneak peeks and then they go down. I'm definitely 100% going to do one post YCS Seattle, just because that will kind of definitively give us the value of a lot of the cards from Raging Tempest. Like if Infernoids do really well, then you'll probably see, you know, that grass looks greener. You'll probably see that card go up. You'll see maybe the Zodiac Beast cards just skyrocket if Zodiacs end up doing something crazy, like maybe they take like 6 out of the top 8, or you could even see something like Crystal Wing go to $80 if DDD shock the world and end up winning the event. Like that event is really going to do a lot for the secondary market, because you have so many different decks and so many different cards that fit into those decks, and it's just going to be a crazy time right after YCS Seattle. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, leave your comments in the comment section below, and subscribe if you have not already.